The Golden Globes were last night. Golden Globes 2017. The big winner, La La Land. Moonlight, though, won Best Drama. But that was the only win that they took home.
Yes.
And then the historic win for Blackish star Tracee Ellis Ross. She was the first African-American to take home the TV in a comedic performance. So, and her acceptance speech was amazing. But a lot of people are talking about Jimmy Fallon today. So we can talk about the wins. I want to know your general thoughts about the night. If you thought there were any snubs, who should have won. But also, what did you think of Jimmy Fallon? Some people thought that he was a little tone deaf. It was a little too goofy, especially when you had that narrative of what Meryl Streep said? Or did you think that he was funny and lighthearted? I mean, the Golden Globes is also supposed to be known as the place to let your hair down and have a few glasses of champagne.
I loved Chastain in the red mane. I thought that was great.
That was great.
I think that was very Jimmy Fallon. They've made a conscious decision this year to not Ricky Gervais it, and not even to Tina Fey, Amy Poehler it, but to your best pal, Jimmy Fallon it.
Yeah, he's going to talk about the election, but not too much. And it's mostly going to be sort of fun songs. Justin Timberlake made an appearance, as we would expect. It was everything that you would want from a Jimmy Fallon hosted show, in that probably no one was offended. And then the people that really wanted a scathing monologue from Jimmy Fallon got mad. But those people that are getting upset, they're like, oh, you really didn't go in enough, don't know what Jimmy Fallon's comedy has become.
It was perfect. It was his shtick.
Yeah,
it was exactly what I expected of Jimmy Fallon.
But that's what the Golden Globes wanted this year.
But it was fun. It was lighthearted. Some other big winners last night: Atlanta, as well as People versus O.J. Simpson.
Which absolute People versus O.J. Simpson was phenomenal. Atlanta. FX is the shit. Yeah. Let's just keep it real. FX can do everything they put out taboo. It's just they're on point. I will say snubs. Snubs. I was thoroughly disappointed that Jessica Chastain did not win for Miss Sloan. Did you guys see Miss Sloan?
You've been preaching about. I haven't seen it yet, but you saw it, you tweeted me. You were like, you gotta see this movie.
God, Samantha, it was everything and then some. And I'm a pretty hard critic of movies, ladies and gentlemen. And Jessica Chastain is just. I thought Zero Dark 30. I thought Miss Sloan shit on that. That's how great it was.
Okay, I'm gonna have to see that.
That's how great it was.
I'm gonna have to see it.
Also, the Golden Globes are like the start of award season, and so it is a bunch of people drinking and having fun. It's very lighthearted, but people always say the Golden Globes is not a foreshadowing of what the Oscars are going to be.
Some people say it is a foreshadowing.
I would actually disagree. I think that you get an idea of where the Academy is going to be leaning, given what awards go which ways for the Golden Globes. But I know they changed the way that the voting works so that the Academy.
The Golden Globes is so unpredictable.
It's something like the Academy.
They have their own agenda at the Golden Globes.
They do. And also, remember, the Golden Globes is what? It's 60 people, isn't it?
So
it's
the Golden
nothing.
Globes is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
How many people
I've
is
met
it?
some. It's 97.
Yeah, it's less than
we never
100
did our
people.
5 words.
So the joke is, okay, do you want to do that?
Sure.
Well, you reminded me of mine because you said Hollywood Foreign Press. Mine was Hollywood Foreign Press for Time, because I feel so bad when they're ushering people off.
So good.
It's rude.
But before, let's focus on this. The funniest thing that Jimmy Fallon said was that this is a place where we still honor the popular vote. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association could not be farther from a representation of Hollywood. The reason I think that La La Land won so much is a reflection of who's in the Hollywood Foreign Press. These are people who are the ones who write Hollywood stories for newspapers and press organizations and the media in other countries. They have been able to fool everyone into thinking that this is worthwhile. It's not the critics. It's not the viewer's choice. It's not the Directors Guild. It's not the SAG-AFTRA Awards. It's just 90 people who said, come to a party, we're going to rent out the ballroom.
It's like a luncheon and different dinners that they host.
They came under, scrutiny because when Viola Davis said, I've run 6 times, I've been nominated 6 times, and I took all the photos and came to all the luncheons, that's the criticism of the HFPA, which
political.
is if they would back in the day would promise you an award if you came and just showed up.
Yeah, if you take the photos and then they like you, which should explain why I'm losing the actress's name, but she won for Best Actress in a motion picture drama, I believe, for Elle.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And that was and she was nominated alongside.
Isabelle Huppert.
Yeah. Amy Adams, and I think Jessica Chastain was also in that category. And there were a lot of, big American actresses that people were, oh my God, I can't believe this actress won. Now, I haven't seen the picture. I understand it is very good. But that it shouldn't come as any surprise if you understand how the HFPA works, because they know her.
But there was a lot of American actresses too. It was mostly American people.
Right, but I mean, in that category, people were like, I can't believe that she was even nominated. This is laughable. She's sitting at a table way in the back.
But maybe she gave a stellar performance.
She did give a stellar performance, but also it helps that she probably knows a lot of the people for longer on a more intimate level, because she has been working in Europe with the Hollywood Foreign, like people that write for the Hollywood Foreign Press for longer than Amy Adams, who maybe showed up to a lunch about a month
It's very
beforehand.
political.
Here's the thing, though. People who win don't necessarily always go on to have the best career, though. Because Octavia Spencer won for The Help, right? We haven't seen much of her since. And
Wait a second. What do you mean?
What?
I'm talking.
Happened to Grace?
Doesn't she have a movie that's coming out in
No,
2
no,
weeks?
no,
I know.
no,
Yeah, but if
No.
it's coming out,
Yeah.
what
I'm saying is, it's like,
January, it's not good.
Halle Berry won an Oscar for Monsters Ball in 2002, and Halle, how have you been doing since? You know what I mean? Shows that have felt. So the point I'm making is that, you guys make great points about, it's political, it's popular, because La La Land, although I like the movie,
It was phenomenal.
No, Sam, it was a great movie, but for it being a musical, okay, so what movie should have won an Oscar that did it? The Color Purple. That was a great movie that had so many wonderful things that, to me, it was like, yes, that deserves it. La La Land was like, okay, I mean, Ryan Gosling was great. Emma Stone was an okay dancer in it, but it really didn't drive home anything or incite or wake up some kind of emotional response with me at all.
Right.
You have people who are coming to Hollywood to write about Hollywood, and this was a film about Hollywood that was escapist, and a lot of European film fans are ones who like these weird artifices, and nothing's more of an artifice than folks just generally breaking into song. That is like a European film. I know we have
It's
a
old,
long legacy of
French
American
cinema.
musical.
Right.
But yes, exactly. So that's what I think was the reason that this won the most Golden Globes of any movie ever, was because I feel like it was a weaker year for cinema. And one in which so much chaos was going on that folks gravitate toward an escape.
Yeah.
And it's
True.
the Hollywood
And what
Foreign Press
feels good.
Association,
That's
and they
true.
love Hollywood. That's what their life is, and they went further than most Americans went, which
But it
is
was
like
also-
over oceans to be part of Hollywood.
But it was also the comedy musical category, like drama. Moonlight did win, and Moonlight
Right,
deserved
but
to
when
win.
they were head to head,
Right.
La La Land just won everything.
And Moonlight was exceptional and important, and
And
the performances were out of this world. They all deserved an Oscar.
And it's going to be really interesting to see now when they are, let's say, nominated for Best Picture alongside each other, because they were in different categories for the Golden Globes, but for the Academy Awards. Will people choose the movie that made them feel good and had them escape the year that was 2016? Or will they choose
Good point.
Moonlight, a scathing, realistic approach to the world that we live in and, different dimensions of people? I don't know.
Also, hashtag Oscars so white. There's a lot of reactionary voting that happens in the Oscars that doesn't necessarily happen in the Golden Globes. Frequently, the Golden Globes is one to say, I'm going to do it. You haven't done it yet, Oscars, but I'm going to do it because it's no skin off my ass. There's only 90 of us, and we're
Yeah.
all going to have a party next year.
Right.
So I think that. I
interesting.
love Atlanta.
Atlanta's
Called that.
so great.
Atlanta is fantastic, and it does feed into the HFPA's taste for oh, this is weird and I like it.
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
what they do a lot.
Yeah.
So I like that. Billy Bob Thornton was a strange one, but
Yeah.
they just like him, I guess. Yeah,
Sarah
and then
Paulson
the Crown.
deserved that
Let's
one.
talk about.
Sarah Paulson, to me, is probably one of the most talented actresses ever, because when she was shooting American Horror Story, she was also shooting The People versus O.J. Simpson. And to go...
Two totally different characters.
and the way she embodied Marcia Clark.
Humanized the Marcia Clark that most people vilified in their minds.
But
during
that's
that
why
trial.
Ryan Murphy and everyone behind that production company, because they get it. They realize they know who their audience is. And I think that is so important for people in television, for my hubby always just I say talent, but know who your audience is and tap into that and give them what they want. And I think that's why Sarah Paulson is such a good actress, because we wanted her to really go in on Marcia Clark. And she did. I mean, every season of American Horror Story, phenomenal. Everything she does is just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
How about Tom Hiddleston?
Oh gosh. I actually felt guilty because I didn't like his speech because I felt like it was braggadocious, but then I found out that a lot of people thought it was self-congratulatory, and that's how I felt. Kudos to you for doing all the philanthropy that you do, but I felt like your speech was about like, it was a humble brag.
Yeah, his speech was like, after giving an entire speech, he then pivots to just a quick story. Yeah. And the story is essentially, I was doing humanitarian work in a humanitarian needy country, and I was with a bunch of humanitarians. We were having a dirty beer. You probably don't understand what that means.
Humanitarian language.
But that's humanitarian language, and they stopped me to say they liked my show. It's like, fuck you!
Thank you! I felt guilty for having that reaction, so it's valid.
I'm glad Taylor Swift dumped your ass.
Yeah. It's valid, and also before we were taping, Sam, you said something that I really resonated with me, which was I kept on waiting for like what was not the punchline, but like what was the point to the story, which is what, because I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, this is kind of awkward, but I'm sure there's some sort of, he's gonna round it out some way. There must have been a plan going into this, and then when there wasn't, they just really loved my show. It was like, oh God, all right.
It was
cringeworthy. Weird, man.
It was cringeworthy. Okay,
I want to watch the
show. We gotta move on. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, what you thought about the Golden Globes. We want to know, and we'll see you next time.